Good Monday morning. Good Monday morning. Good Monday afternoon to all of you. I figure if I kind of stay at this level, I can be here for a moment. So let's all take a deep breath and exhale. All along, this has been a heart crisis and a health crisis to me. There's no part of it that hasn't touched our hearts in some way. And of course, there's always the issue of health because of the virus. But what rocked our world was the combination of the two, with the transition of Chadwick Boseman. It's a heart crisis because, of course, many of us from all over the world fell in love with him in Black Panther. I was so naive, I posted a picture on my Facebook page. I thought it was our movie. I didn't know anything about Marvel. I really didn't look at it. I mean, I looked at Robert Downey Jr. because I've always loved him ever since his recovery and how he's moved forward. But it wasn't until afterwards that, people were talking about Marvel. And I'm like, Marvel? I'm like, oh, this was a comic strip? Or this was part of comic? Or DC? Or Marvel? So for me, I was like, wow, this is about us. And it was rich. It was rich for us. It was rich with history. It was rich with truths. It was rich with the awareness of how much power and resources we actually have had and had in Africa. That's what it really spoke to. So I didn't find out until I think Saturday night or something, right before I was getting ready to make a run with my son. And we all leave when it's time for us to leave. There's no accidents. But the health and the heart crisis. The heart because we loved him so much because of who he betrayed and the possibility of what he betrayed. The health because who knew he was struggling with stage 4 cancer. I have walked several of my family members through cancer. My mom through blood cancer, my father through lung cancer, another relative through lung cancer. So to think that all of what he did under that pretense, in a sense, of still wanting to serve us and be available to us, and and keep whatever he saw as his goal on the planet very present, and didn't tell us anything. I don't know how many people they must have paid off and had signed non-disclosures about his health for all those years. So, Wakanda. We were ready to go to Wakanda. We were so silly. We actually thought there was someplace we could go. It's like, hell, you're tired of fussing about us. You're tired of us being here. We don't mind. We'll leave. We can go someplace and fuss and fight with each other. Little did I know, it was a comic. But it still told the truth about the value that we bring to the planet and the value of what we had before it was ripped and stolen from us in Africa. So it also makes me think, though, of how are you living your life? Granted, I get if you're struggling with rent and struggling with groceries and maybe potentially being evicted. But I think it causes us to pause for a moment and really look at the quality of our lives. What do we put on hold? What do we decide we'll do later? What do we keep thinking, oh, I'll get to that at another point. I have time. We always think we have time. We have no control over time. We don't know how much time we do or do not have. So what allows us to think that we can take our time to reach our goals, to live our lives, to be happy, to be fulfilled, to have healthy lives, to have a heart that's open, to receive love, to share love, to express love? What are we waiting for? people are, well, I'm waiting for things to get normal. This is normal. How do you, in this normal of what it is that's different than what we expected, live a life that you say you want? How long do you continue to have those same goals that you're not willing to make the commitment to? You're still nervous, or you're still afraid to make the commitment, to make the change, particularly the changes in health. So much of what impacts this country impacts people of color. Poor eating habits. There may not be enough money, so you're running to fast food places. I've always said that taking your money and spending it on rice and beans and pasta, the things that are going to last, that will also give you the strength for the fight, is more important than spending money on fast stuff that you can just throw in the microwave and doesn't have the nutritional value. So I really hope it causes us all to pause for a moment. That man was continuing to live his dream and go after the goals that he must have set for himself internally, but how he was going to show up on the planet in the midst of cancer. So you have to look at our own lives and say, what stops us? And we don't even have freaking cancer. What stops you from making the changes? What stops you from signing up for the programs to get the shifts that you need and the transformation you want in your relationship with money, in your relationship with your health? What is it that you allow yourself to take yourself off the hook and say, oh, well, I'll get to it someday, or maybe, or whenever? When you've been given a particular plan or mission of what you're supposed to do here, why does it end up on the back burner? How come it's okay for everything else and everyone else to take front center stage in our lives except for us? And he put himself first, because he made sure he got the treatments, he made sure he did the surgeries, and then it still contributed to the world. So what? What's our excuse? What stops you? I can ask women about shifting their relationship with money. Don't you want to make peace with money? And you'll continue to keep doing the same things with your money that you've been doing. In your relationship with yourself, as far as your self-care, you'll still continue to put yourself last instead of at the top of the line. If there's anything you could take from the life of Chadwick Boseman, is to really look at what's your purpose, what you know you're supposed to be doing, and what's stopping you from doing it, and how come you won't ask for the help to shift your attention and energy toward the results that you want to see showing up. We don't get a second chance. Life is continuing to move forward, no matter how much we may resist it, how much we may say, oh, this isn't fair, or this shouldn't be happening, in spite of all the racial issues, in spite of all the arguing and the fussing and the fighting and the shooting and the protests. Life is still happening. Seasons still changing. The sun comes up, the moon comes up, everything is still unfolding. So it's upon each and every one of us to look at our life, look inside our lives. And see, it's 2 times now. You gotta remember, this is 2 times we've been hit. First, we got hit in January with Kobe. Knocked the wind out of us across the world. Knocked us to our knees. And I didn't even pay attention to basketball that much because I actually like the Warriors. Took our breath away. And now here it is again. So if the world and the universe isn't telling us to focus on our hearts and focus on our health, I don't know what a greater message is that's being given to us. How are you eating? How come you continue to eat the things that you eat that you know are not good for you? Where is our commitment and determination to our own health? The examples we're setting for our kids and for others who are looking at us. And in our hearts, who do we need to forgive? Where do we need to forgive ourselves? Where do we open up our hearts more to be open to all the other people that are on this planet that may not look like we look like? It still comes back to the same thing, a heart crisis and a health crisis. 2020 has been all about us turning inward, not turning outward, not getting lost in looking at series after series on TV that's just mindless chatter, but to turn inward and see what is the value you're bringing to this planet? What is the value you're bringing to this world? How can you bring that to the world even more? It's not big, huge things. It's the little things that we do consistently over and over. And if you don't want to look at the world, then how do you get your life to be the way you want it to be? I'm that chick that's really focusing on your relationship with money. How do you begin to make peace with money? What are the actions you're willing to take to learn about money, to have money confidence, to live in money freedom and what that means, to move to the point where you have your savings, you have your retirement, and you can begin to move into investing and begin to look at a legacy. I mean, it's only so long that we can keep saying the same things over and over and doing the same things over and over, wanting different results. It's your life. You get to decide it. Yes, all this stuff is happening on the outside of it in the world and the president, but in your world right there in this moment, in your heart, you get to decide. You get to step up in whatever ways that you can. And, you know, I just wish his light and presence was here just a little longer. That's all. I know there are no accidents. It again is a wake-up call for us to look at colon cancer. Colonoscopies usually aren't until 50. They're realizing now maybe colonoscopies need to be 40. But if we're paying attention to our own health personally, we can ask for what we want. And if the doctors say, well, it's not time yet, then we get to push that to say, no, it's time because I'm a person of color. You need to test me earlier. You need to test me sooner. So I have a fighting chance for a cure. I mean, he started at stage 4. That meant he had it for some time. How many colonoscopies have you had? Are you getting your doctor's checkup? Are you running from the doctor because you don't want them sticking you here and putting their fingers there, putting their fingers there? Wherever they put their fingers, it could save your life. It could save your life. And we can get free exams. It's not always about money. We can get free exams, but we won't get them. We're too busy trying to do for everybody else, take care of everybody else, be everything for everybody else instead of being that for ourselves first. So Kobe hit me hard, and I wasn't even a real big basketball fan of his, as I said. And Chadwick, I mean, I loved Black Panther. We were all ready to take off and go to Wakanda. We figured we'll just argue with ourselves. At least we kind of love each other versus living under the institutional and systemic racism in America, only for it to be a Marvel movie. It gave us the possibility of what could be. So I asked you in each one of your lives to look at today. What is it you need to be doing for you, for your heart? What is it you need to be doing and you know you need to be doing for your health? I'm reading Tony Macmillan's new book, It Ain't All Down Here from Here. It's not all down here from here. It's not all downhill from here. And it's interesting because it's 4 women, they're all friends, and everybody's got different issues. One woman has diabetes and she's ignoring it and not changing her eating habits and not doing what she needs to do. Another woman is doing something else. And it's like 4 women, and it shows how we're moving through life. And they're probably from 45 to 60, and the different things that we're having to deal with and how we can support each other in doing it. It becomes imperative. We've got to talk about health. We've got to take the actions about our health. There's no, what's the fast track? Why won't you exercise? What's so important, more important than your health? How come you won't eat the way you know you're supposed to eat? I know it doesn't taste good. So what? It sustains you. This is a body. This is a machine. You put certain things in your computer like a program for it to work a certain way. Well, treat your body that same way. It's a program. It needs certain things, certain foods, certain combinations for it to be efficient and to sustain you on this planet. We are the ones that are impacted, people of color, more than any other people. And it's because of our personal choices. Our choices. Running from the doctors, don't want to go to the doctors, don't want to see what the doctors have to say. In the book, she was saying she didn't want to take the diabetic pill, but she accepted the fact that she didn't have the control and wasn't willing to be disciplined enough to do what she needed to do. So she went ahead and started taking the pill, she said, until she could get herself off. If there's any health in your family, in your life right now that needs your attention, please give it your attention. Please go to the doctors. Please do the exercise. Someone's watching you. Someone's deciding how they're going to do what they're doing based on what they see you do. You know me. You see me. If you've been on here with me for a minute, you've been on here for months. You see me up walking just about every single morning. Walking, running. I got my bike set up to ride my bike. I got an exercise video from Kat that I have. That's all you have. If you don't have health, you don't have anything else. So look in the quality of your life. Look at the quality of your health and the quality of your heart. Oh, the book I'm reading, you like to read it. It's called Terry McMillan. It's her new book. It's just out. I think It Ain't All Downhill from Now. Because it's like women, in their 50s, so it seems like life is all downhill. And so she's talking about her husband had just made his transition. They've been married for years and years and years. So now she's having to create a new life without him. But if you go to Amazon, I know, and I can't stand Amazon, but if you go to Amazon and put in Terry Macmillan, Ain't All Down Here From Here, it's really looking at the camaraderie between women and how we have to come together, how we have to take responsibility for our health because no one else is. We've unfortunately positioned people to treat us as their resource. So they come to us for answers, they come to us for help, as opposed to coming to us to seeing how they can support us. So we then have to come together to support each other. So that's a fun one. I'm halfway through it. There's one love scene. It's hilarious. One of the girls ends up with the guy from the dating site, and I guess he had taken the blue pill. It is hilarious for her to read what happened to her during the course of it. And then she finally says to him, "How many pills did you take?" He said 2. She put her clothes on as fast as she could and ran out of there. And she said, "Don't you ever touch another woman having taken 2 blue pills." Oh gosh, but it just shows what we're going through, what we have to deal with, how we have to put ourselves first, how we really have to put ourselves first to take care of our health and our hearts going forward. So that's all I got for today. A mindset that really allows you to turn within. The answers are within. The solutions are within. I get up and exercise every day for my health and for me. I've got a 16-year-old that I promised to be on this planet at least another 30 years with him. I know first and foremost, more than anything else, is my exercise is key. Next to that is my eating. Cutting the sugar. Then I heard something from my doctor the other day. I'm like, oh shoot, cut the salt, cut the bread, cut the white flours. And life will be changed for you in a way that you could never imagine. And we have the power to do that. We just have to love ourselves enough to do it. You have to have the discipline enough to be willing to be uncomfortable for what you say you want. No, it's not easy. Yeah, I'd like to eat the biscuits I grew up on. I loved biscuits with a whole bunch of butter on them and maple syrup. Not anymore. Yeah, I love French toast and pancakes. Not anymore. My breakfast is like spinach with some salmon, smoked salmon, and some mushrooms and 1 egg. I mean, it's just a boring breakfast, but it's a healthy breakfast. It's going to be spinach or kale with mushrooms and an egg. It may or may not be salmon. It may or may not be. That's about it, because most of the meats that are processed have too much sugar and salt. So it really leaves us to create our own meals and food for ourselves if we're going to be healthy. And yeah, that's a little bit more responsibility. But heck, we've been responsible for everybody in our family and all their problems and loaning them money whenever they need it. What if you pulled all that energy in and focused on yourself for a month? Do the exercising you're supposed to be doing. Get out there no matter what. I don't care if you don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. My morning got all thrown off today. I'm sitting in front of Whole Foods going to get some spinach and kale when I should be walking. But it's okay. When I go back, I'll do my routine on my cardio, and I have my bike. No, it won't be easy, and no, you may not like it, and some days you won't feel like it, and that's when you do it even more. That boy was 40-some years old. He did 7 movies with cancer. We have no excuse. 7 movies. And no matter how much money he had, it didn't take away the cancer that was in his body. It didn't take away the pain he may have been feeling. It didn't take away the surgeries he had to go through. So I'm sorry, we have no excuse except for to make a serious commitment to the goals that we say we want. And if you're one of those women who want to make a change with your money, who really wants to make peace with your money, then I'm your girl. I'm the chick you want to talk to. But along with that, I'm going to talk to you about how you're eating and how you're living and what your health is and what's your mindset. What are you thinking? What are you willing to do for you to the degree that you're willing to do it for everybody else? So you have your health, you have your heart, you have your wholeness, and that no matter what comes, you can bounce back. I'll bounce back from this. I will. But for today, I'm just going to let it be what it's going to be for him, for that amazing being that we had on this planet that impacted us in such an incredible way. And we get to do that in our own individual lives. We get to make the impact in our lives if we're willing to have the courage and the commitment to ourselves. Not just to everything else and everybody else, thinking you're going to get brownie points somewhere in heaven because you're running around doing all this stuff for everybody else and driving yourself crazy, gaining weight, not eating the way you're supposed to be eating, and saying, oh, well, I got to take care of my mom. I got to take care of the kids. No, you got to take care of yourself. First and foremost, you got to take care of you. Because without you, there is nobody else. Look in your heart. Look where you can love you more. Look where you can take care of you more. Look where you can honor you more. And as you do that for you, you'll be more than willing to do it for others. We're starting a new week. Hey, we're getting ready to head into September and heading into Labor Day. All we can say is thank you for another day. Thank you for another day to put on a mask. Thank you for another day to put on gloves. Because I realize when I go into Whole Foods, somebody's touched everything before me. So thank you. Thank you for all that's going on. Thank you for the protests. Thank you for the realization that life is still happening. Thank you for all that's unfolding. Remember, you're still in gratitude, grace and gratitude for everything. Thank you that you can shed the tears. Thank you that you were concerned about another human being that you didn't even know, except for in a movie, that you shed tears for him having to go through it. But the one thing I know is that child did 7 movies from the time he was diagnosed in 4 years to when he made his transition. And he still didn't talk to us about it. He still didn't say anything about what he had, how he had it, or what he was dealing with. He just kept doing what he was supposed to do, what he was put here to do. And that's the way we all need to be about our lives, our dreams, and what we want to see for ourselves. Corona may slow some things down, but it doesn't have to slow you down from living the dreams that you want to live, creating the goals that you want to create, and achieving them. And if money is one of yours and you're ready to make peace with it, I'm that chick that's willing to help you and support you in making that happen. Although along the way, I'm helping you, hopefully support you in making a whole lot of things happen for yourself. That you think differently, that you feel differently, that you operate differently in your love and your life for yourself and for others. Head in the Whole Food, get in my vegetables. Go get your vegetables. Eat them, even if you don't like them. I never liked vegetables. I never was a big eater, but I know what I need to do to stay healthy and to take care of my heart, my soul, and my spirit. It's still a health crisis. It's still a heart crisis. Take care of your health. Take care of your heart. Love you all. Take good care. I'll be better tomorrow. Bye for now.